So we are currently 2 days removed from the NFL season, and obviously the Jaguars did not make the playoffs. We were a 1-15 team, so it is officially our off season. Now, this off season is a little bit different because for the first time since 2013, the Jaguars are currently on a search for both a new general manager and head coach. So it's obviously going to be a very, very busy offseason for us. And I would really rather have made individual videos on all the different guys that the Jaguars are looking at. But being that I have a full time job outside of this, unfortunately, I do not have time. So I had to kind of fit this into my schedule in my free time. But I'm going to go ahead and in this video, I'm going to go ahead and go through all the different coaches and general managers that have been linked to the Jaguars, whether the Jaguars have shown interest or whether the Jaguars have scheduled an interview with them. So let's get into it. Now, first up is obviously the popular name of Urban Meyer. I mean, Urban Meyer, we've talked all about him. Almost It seems like this is definitely the favorite to land in Jacksonville, whether it be Urban Meyer. The only team linked to Urban Meyer right now in the NFL is Jacksonville. I've seen some hints that maybe the Chargers, but I've seen nothing really definite out of that. And it seems like Urban Meyer is just a heavy favorite to kind of land in Jacksonville. Obviously, we've talked all about him. He has 2 national championships at Florida, 1 at Ohio State. The biggest risk for him, I guess there's a couple of risks. One, he's never been a part of the NFL, never been an NFL head coach. And also, he has health concerns, which forced him to leave both of his past jobs at both Ohio State and Florida. But, I mean, if there's anything, he's a proven winner. He's built winning cultures, and he's a guy that also develops and hires pretty good staffs also. So, I mean, this is probably my favorite, pick to land as the head coach, but we'll keep kind of looking into this whole thing to see kind of where the Jaguars do wind up going. Now, the next candidate is Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. This is actually one of my favorite guys. It's actually been making more sense to me as I think about it more recently. Now, like I said, he's the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator. He's been the Titans offensive coordinator the last 2 seasons, and he's done a tremendous job over there with the Titans. I mean, you look at them, and they've really built an offensive powerhouse. They're probably not going to make it to the Super Bowl solely because of their defense. Their defense is a huge liability, but this whole entire Titans offense has pretty much been on Arthur Smith. Obviously, head coach Mike Vrabel, he is a defensive guy, and you look at it, man, Tannehill's playing the best that he's ever played in his career. Derrick Henry just got to 2,000 rushing yards, and you also look at, A.J. Brown's doing tremendous. Corey Davis is finally starting to have live up to his first, top 10 pick potential. And, he's got some good tight end play, good offensive line play. Really just the offense is clicking on all cylinders. And also another thing I like about him is that he's in the AFC South. So obviously he's very familiar with teams like the Texans or the Colts, and obviously he's extremely familiar with the Titans. You know what I mean? You already know a lot about yourself within a division. 6 of your games each year are against division opponents. So obviously with this, it makes a ton of sense to me, Arthur Smith. The only thing I don't like about him is I don't know if he really has the look of a head coach. I don't know. It's just something about him seems a little bit off when it comes to that. He looks kind of like a Eric Mangini type of look. I don't know. He doesn't look like a real guy that people rally behind. But hey, the track record proves itself. I'm not going to judge a guy based on that, but I just wanted to throw it in there. Next up is 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. Now, Robert Saleh has been a popular name over the last couple of years. He actually used to serve as a Jaguars linebacker coach back when Gus Bradley was a part of the coaching staff, and he's over there with 49ers under Kyle Shanahan, and he's just a he's a high energy guy, man. I mean, he seems like a guy that players can really rally behind. When it comes to when it comes to really what the NFL has been trending toward after the whole Sean McVay thing, where young coaches are getting hired different places. He seems like he really fits right into that bill. But one thing that I guess you'll see me kind of referencing a lot is I don't think the Jaguars are going to be getting a defensive guy. I think really where this team is right now, obviously with Trevor Lawrence coming in number one, and I think Sean Khan is smart enough to know that, look, the NFL and everything like that, it is trending toward an offensive game. I mean, in the past, things have been definitely more defensive when it comes to like old school type of stuff. But nowadays, man, it's all about outscoring teams. Patrick Mahomes is out there doing crazy things. The Bills with Josh Allen is doing really good. Nowadays, it's really turning into an offensive thing. And, offenses also sell a lot of excitement. You know what I mean? The Jaguars right now, not only do they have to put a good team on the field, they also have to put some butts in seats, man. They got to get some people in this stadium. So, the Jaguars, I think, ideally need to get an offensive guy. Of course, still talk to defensive guys, but where the Jaguars are right now, with the fact that we're going to be getting Trevor Lawrence in, I think Shad will definitely start leaning more toward getting an offensive coach. So Robert Saleh, I really like him. I don't know if Jacksonville's the best spot for him. Next up is Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris actually used to serve as the Buccaneers head coach, and he's currently the interim head coach over there for the Falcons. I think he's going to get an interview with the Falcons, but obviously that's not set in stone yet. The Jaguars have requested to interview with him. But he after Dan Quinn got fired for the Buccaneers, he actually did a pretty decent job over there. I don't have his exact record pulled up or anything, but he rallied the guys. I think a lot of guys really do like playing for him, and he's a name to monitor, but I don't. This name doesn't interest me. Now, next up is a very, very hot name, and this is Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is being really linked everywhere. I mean, a lot of people wonder why Eric Bieniemy didn't get a job really last year. But it turned out that he wasn't the best interview. Like, he wasn't really interviewing very well. And a lot of times, if you're not going to be a good interviewer, you're not really going to win a job over, especially when these guys are trying to hire guys that are going to be able to inspire men. And you need to, be the lead voice of everything. And you need to be able to be strong in your opinions about different things. So that kind of threw him off a little bit. But really, with the work that he's done over there with Patrick Mahomes, it's been really good. Obviously, people wonder, is he a product of Andy Reid? I don't really know, and I think other people would be better to answer that question than me. Obviously, I think that Eric Bieniemy is definitely going to go to probably either the Texans or Chargers, maybe the Jaguars. It doesn't seem like the Jaguars will ultimately be the place that he lands, but I think that they're going to pair Bieniemy up with a team that already has a quarterback, a young quarterback, like I said, a Deshaun Watson or a Justin Herbert. I think he goes to one of those teams. But at the end of the day, I think Eric Bieniemy will definitely be a good head coach in the league, and we'll kind of see where he actually ends up. So that kind of ends it with the head coaching candidates. This is all courtesy of GenJag.com, where I found this information. I'll post the link to the article down below. But next, we'll go ahead and move into the general manager candidates. Now, the first candidate is Terry Fontenot. I hope I said that right. He's basically, right now, he is the assistant GM of pro personnel / vice president of the Saints. So obviously, some of these general manager candidates, we don't really know a lot about them, especially if they haven't really been GMs before. We just had to say, look, like the Saints, they've been able to find a lot of guys. I mean, Alvin Kamara, they've been able to find just a lot of different skilled players to really fit their different schemes over there. And obviously, they have a whole plethora of talent over there, a lot of speed, great defense, great offense. I mean, this is ideally where you want the Jaguars to get. So why not go get a guy, from a team like that to be able to come over here and help build the Jaguars? So that's one name that they are looking at. The next name is Jerry Reese. Now, Jerry Reese was the former Giants general manager. He actually helped build 2 Super Bowl teams over there when he was in New York, obviously working with Tom Coughlin. So he did some, I guess, according to Jordan's article, he had a bad 3-year stretch over there with the New York Giants. So, it's just another guy. He was a GM at one point, built a good team, and then didn't do a good job and got fired. So I guess he's really on the market. The next name is a name that I really like, and that's Rick Smith. He's the former general manager for the Houston Texans. And he's kind of like the anti Dave Caldwell. Dave Caldwell, he's been known to kind of get the later round picks well and not really hit on the first rounders. But Rick Smith, on the other hand, like he's been known to really hit on his first round picks and not so much with his later round picks. He drafted Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins, Dwayne Brown, Jadeveon Clowney, Will Fuller. I mean, these are all some like really good names. So obviously, he was a guy, he did not get fired. Shout out to Wink from Third Coast Sports. He's a Houston Texans YouTuber. He came on my channel and basically said that, look, like he is no longer the GM over there because he had to step away due to his wife actually getting cancer. So he wasn't fired. He just kind of had to leave. So that's one name that I really do like is Rick Smith. Next up, we have current interim GM Trent Baalke. He used to be the 49ers general manager. Trent Baalke, obviously he's the interim right now, so he's going to get a shot. They're going to, of course, interview him. Like with everybody on the staff right now, nobody from the coaching staff has been fired yet. They're going to let the new head coach kind of decide what that is. That's the same thing here. You got to give him the interview, but at the end of the day, I don't see Baalke really becoming the GM for us. He did some good things, obviously, with the 49ers. He helped build their Super Bowl roster, but apparently he had some made some bad relationships over there and was no longer over there. Now, moving on to the next guy, that's Louis Riddick. He is a former player, former scout in the NFL. Right now, he's an ESPN analyst, and he's actually a very, very hot name. Really the only name out there out of the analysts that are out there. I thought that Daniel Jeremiah or Bucky Brooks would maybe get their shot, but haven't heard anything about them, but heard a lot from Louis Riddick. Like I said, he's an ESPN analyst right now. No experience as a GM, but a lot of people really respect how he feels. I know, we go back and kind of look at some of the bad takes these different guys had. One thing that he said was he was really on board with the Jaguars bringing in Nick Foles, and also he was talking about how Dwayne Haskins was going to have a huge monster year this year, and obviously that did not work out. Louis Riddick, I think we can probably do a little bit better than him. I don't know. We'll see with him. He'll probably land somewhere, but something kind of sketches me out about this one. Now, the next one is Ray Farmer. I don't understand this one as much because, he was the GM for the Browns in 2014 and 2015. He was the guy that drafted Johnny Manziel. And, he really built the roster that eventually went 1-31 under Hugh Jackson. So I don't know. I don't know about Ray Farmer. I wouldn't really be interested in this one. Based on his track record, I don't know why he's really getting interviews, but Ray Farmer apparently has been requested for an interview by the Jaguars. Right now, those are kind of all the names that I have according to this Generation Jaguar article. So let me know some of your guys' thoughts, man. Obviously, some guys that I like Urban Meyer, Arthur Smith the most as head coach. I like Eric Bieniemy too, but I don't feel like he's going to land in Jacksonville. I like this Terry Fontenot guy. I really like him a lot, and I also like Rick Smith, but we'll see. It seems, like I said, it seems like we're going to be getting Urban Meyer in here, and I'm sure Urban Meyer is going to have a lot to say when it comes to who's going to be the GM. So we'll just have to see, man. We'll just have to see. So let me know some of your guys' thoughts on who you guys want as the general manager. Thanks to everybody for watching. We're almost at 10K subscribers, which is freaking awesome. So if you're new here, drop the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you guys can become members of the channel for as low as $3 a month for member-only content. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Duval till we die. I'm out.